I never imagined that clearing out Dad's old attic in our family home out in the Arizona desert would shatter everything I thought I knew about my life. My name is Emily Hayes, and at 33, I'd built a steady existence as a content marketer in Phoenix, where the sun beats down relentlessly on strip malls and cactus-dotted suburbs. That Thanksgiving weekend started like any other. My husband, Jack, and I made the 3-hour drive from our condo, cruising past red rock formations and dusty highways lined with saguaros. Mom, who I'd always called Karen, met us at the door with her apron dusted in flour and that warm but distant smile she'd perfected over the years. "Emily, sweetie, you look worn out from that city hustle," she said, pulling me into a quick hug. "Jack, Hun, Robert could use a hand up in the attic. We're prepping for monsoon season. Gotta organize before the rains hit." The house smelled of roasting turkey and green chili stuffing, a scent that took me right back to childhood holidays. My brother Derek's pickup truck was parked out front. Of course, he never missed a chance to swing by for Mom's cooking or to brag about his latest gig. This time, it was real estate flipping in Tucson, or so he claimed. I settled into the kitchen rhythm with Mom, chopping onions while she basted the bird, chatting about neighbors and the latest water restrictions. Derek lounged in the living room, scrolling his phone. "Hey, Ink, how's the 9-to-5 grind? Still pushing pixels for the man?" he called out, not bothering to look up. I forced a grin. "It's paying the bills." "How's the flipping game treating you?" "Killing it," he replied, flashing his new smartwatch that screamed more flash than function. About half an hour later, Jack came down from the attic, his face ashen like he'd seen a ghost in the midday heat. His hands trembled slightly as he gripped the doorframe. "Ink, can you come up? Need your help with something." Mom glanced up sharply from the stove. "Can it wait? Dinner's almost on." But Jack shook his head, his voice firm in a way that wasn't like him. "It's gotta be now." I followed him up the creaky wooden stairs, past the wall of framed photos where Derek starred in every big moment: high school graduation, his first truck, college send-off. I showed up in the margins, always with that same half-smile, like I was just along for the ride. The attic was a sweltering maze of holiday lights, old rodeo trophies, and boxes stacked against the rafters. Dad, Robert, stood by the small vent window, arms folded, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. "What's going on?" I asked, wiping sweat from my brow. Jack led me to a corner where he'd pulled out a few cardboard boxes from behind a pile of camping gear. One was open, papers spilling out onto the plywood floor. He knelt down, pulling me with him. "Don't say anything yet," he whispered, eyes darting toward Robert. "Wait till your mom's out of earshot." My heart started pounding. He handed me a faded manila folder labeled Emily Grace Hayes, Trust Documents. I flipped it open, and the world tilted. The top sheet was a legal trust agreement from 20 years back, naming me as beneficiary, established by a woman named Clara Weston. "Who the hell is Clara Weston?" I muttered. Jack pulled out another document, a birth certificate. "Mean it." But not the one I'd used for my driver's license or marriage papers. This one listed Clara Weston as my birth mother. The attic air felt thicker, the desert heat closing in. Robert cleared his throat awkwardly. "You kids shouldn't be digging through that old junk. Some stuff's better left buried." Jack fixed him with a steady gaze. "Robert, maybe head downstairs for now." After a tense standoff, Robert shuffled off, his boots heavy on the steps. Jack spread out more papers, letters, photos, court notices. One snapshot showed a young woman cradling a baby me, with her sharp cheekbones and my exact green eyes. On the back, Clara and Emily. 3 months. This couldn't be real. All those years I'd felt like the odd one out in our family. Like Karen's hugs were obligatory and Robert's praise reserved for Derek. I'd chalked it up to me being the independent type. The one who didn't need coddling.
But now.
They knew, I whispered, piecing it together. They've known all along. From below. Karen's voice echoed up. Everything okay up there?
Turkey's resting.
Jack gathered the papers. We act normal for now. Make copies later. Then we talk to a lawyer. I nodded, numb, as we headed down for dinner. The meal blurred by, Derek monologuing about his next big flip, Karen beaming at him, Robert avoiding my eyes. Every laugh felt like a jab. Every proud glance at Derek a reminder of the invisible wall I'd always sensed. That night in our motel room off the interstate, we laid everything out on the bed like a puzzle from hell. The trust was set up by Clara when I was 3, right before she passed from breast cancer. It started substantial, growing over years into something life-changing, enough for college, a home, security. But the trustees, Karen and Robert, had extended their control past my 21st birthday, claiming I wasn't mature enough in court filings.
Me,
who juggled jobs through community college while Derek partied through his bachelor's at ASU. The withdrawals started then. Transfers to Derek's accounts for tuition. His first flip property. Failed ventures like that craft brewery that tanked. And the house, Clara's cozy adobe in Sedona. With its red tile roof and mountain views, sold off 5 years ago. Proceeds funneled straight to Derek's investments. A letter from Clara, sealed and resealed clumsily, broke me. My dearest Emily, it read. If you're reading this, I'm gone, but you're grown. You were my everything in our short time. This isn't just money, it's choices. Freedom. Karen and Robert, my cousins, swore they'd raise you right. Use this to chase your stars. You were loved fiercely. Always. Mom. Wanted.
Loved.
Words I'd craved but never heard in the Hayes house. They stole it all, I said, voice cracking. To prop up Derek, Jack held me. We get a trusts and estates attorney. Build a case under Arizona law. Breach of fiduciary duty. Maybe fraud. I thought of Clara. Young and fighting. Trusting family who betrayed her. The old Emily. The pleaser. Evaporated. In her place, someone ready to reclaim what was hers. But with a nagging pull toward understanding why they'd done it. Greed? Favoritism? Or something deeper? Twisted by their own pains? The drive back to Phoenix felt endless. The highway blurring through my tears. Memories resurfaced like flash floods in the desert, every time I'd been sidelined while Derek shone. Senior year. I'd gotten into UCLA with a scholarship, dreaming of marketing classes by the ocean. Be practical. And Karen had said, her tone laced with that faux worry. Community college here in state is smarter, no debt dragging you down. Meanwhile, Derek, with his C average, jetted off to ASU tours. Hotels paid for by what I now knew was my trust. You're so self-reliant, she'd say when I'd push back on the unfairness. Derek needs the extra push, you thrive on your own. At 18, it felt like tough love.
Now?
It was manipulation, training me to expect crumbs while they baked Derek a feast. His 16th birthday, a shiny Ford F-150 he wrecked in months, replaced without a blink. Mine, a used bike and a speech on earning your keep. His graduation bash, catered tacos, a DJ under string lights in the backyard. Mine, store-bought cake and immediate nudges toward job apps. The financial hits stung worst. Textbooks for my associate's degree? Hunt for deals online. Honey, every buck counts. While Derek's bar startup burned cash like dry brush in wildfire season. My first apartment, a cramped studio in a sketchy Phoenix suburb, sirens wailing at night. Derek's, a sleek condo in Scottsdale. Quartz counters and pool view, a solid investment, Robert called it. Never mentioning my stolen funds. They'd turn my grit against me. Every promotion I clawed for. Every late night. They'd cite as proof I didn't need help.
See?
You landed that gig all by yourself. While Derek's entrepreneurial spirit got endless bailouts. It was gaslighting at its finest, making me thankful for neglect. Convincing me Derek's dependence was his flaw. Not their favoritism amplified by theft. Back home, Jack and I pored over Arizona trust laws online. Trustees had duties, loyalty, prudence, impartiality. Karen and Robert had violated them all, siphoning funds without disclosure, favoring their bio son. We need proof of intent for fraud, Jack said. But the extensions, the hidden docs, that's embezzlement territory. I nodded, anger simmering with a new undercurrent. Pity. What drove them to this? Clara's letter hinted at family tensions, maybe jealousy, old grudges. Our lawyer, Sarah Jenkins, specialized in estate battles in the Southwest. Her office in downtown Phoenix overlooked the bustling streets, AC humming against the heat. She reviewed the docs for 2 hours, her expression hardening. This is textbook breach, extending trusteeship without valid cause. Undisclosed withdrawals. Under Arizona revised statutes, you can sue for restitution, damages, even removal of trustees. Criminal angles too. Theft by extortion if they forged anything. But their family, I said, the word tasting bitter. Sarah leaned forward. Family doesn't excuse fiduciary abuse. We'll demand an accounting first, force them to disclose every transaction. We filed quietly, serving papers via certified mail. The response was swift, a frantic call from Karen. Emily, what's this nonsense? Those old papers mean nothing. Her voice cracked. Defensive. We raised you, gave you a home. With Clara's stipend, I shot back. While hiding her gift to me, Derek texted, WTF.
Ain't
Mom's crying nonstop. This some midlife crisis. I ignored him, focusing on building our case. Forensic accountants traced the funds, over $1.5 million diverted, plus interest. Clara's Sedona house sale, $600,000 straight to Derek's flips. It wasn't just money, it was opportunities stolen, my education, stability, a fair start. Confrontation came at a neutral spot, a mediator's office in Tucson. Dry heat shimmering off the parking lot. Karen and Robert sat across the table. Their lawyer, a slick guy named Tom Bradley, flanking them. Derek slouched beside, avoiding my eyes. This is a misunderstanding, Bradley opened. My clients acted in good faith, managing the trust for Ms. Hayes' benefit. Sarah scoffed. By funneling it to their son? That's breach. Plain and simple. I spoke up, voice steady. You knew about Clara. You hid her from me. Used her legacy to bankroll Derek's life while I scraped by. Karen's eyes welled. We loved you, Emily. But Derek. He struggled more. We thought we were balancing things. Robert muttered. Clara dumped this on us. Unwed. Sick. We took you in out of duty.
duty.
Not love. The word hung heavy. Derek finally piped up. I didn't know. Okay? Thought it was family savings. But his tone rang hollow. Had he suspected? The mediation dragged. Numbers flying. restitution calculations, asset lists. Their house in the foothills, worth $700,000, Derek's truck and flips. Liquidate if needed, Sarah pressed. Or face court, where punitive damages could double it. A break in the lobby. Derek cornered me by the water cooler. You're killing them.
Eminencia.
Dad's blood pressure's through the roof. And what about me? I whispered fiercely. Years thinking I was less than, while you got it all. He shifted. I get it was unfair. But family sticks together. Not when it's built on lies. Back inside. Bradley countered low, $150,000 over years. We walked. But seeds of doubt sprouted. Ruining them wouldn't heal me. Maybe there was a humane path. One honoring Clara's wish for freedom without total destruction. As we left, Karen grabbed my arm. Please, Emily. We messed up, but we're sorry. Her plea cracked something in me. Not forgiveness, not yet, but a glimpse of their humanity. Flawed and fearful. The weeks after mediation blurred into legal volleys. The Arizona sun unrelenting as my resolve. Sarah pushed for discovery. Unearthing more, emails between Karen and Robert debating trust extensions. One reading. Emily's fine on her own. Derek needs this for his future. Proof of intent. But with each revelation, anger mixed with sorrow. Clara's letters painted her as vibrant. A Sedona artist who'd fallen ill young. Trusting cousins who resented her free spirit. I visited her grave in a quiet Sedona cemetery. Red rocks towering like silent guardians. The stone read, Clara Weston, cherished mother and dreamer. Kneeling, I whispered, I found out.
Mom.
I'm fighting, but it hurts. Wind whistled through the pines, almost like an answer. Back in Phoenix, Jack held me. You're strong.
Eminencia.
But revenge doesn't have to mean ruin. Think about what Clara wanted, your freedom, not their suffering. Derek called next. Voice raw.
Ink.
Let's talk.
No lawyers.
We met at a neutral coffee shop in Mesa, AC blasting against the triple-digit heat. He looked deflated.
No swagger.
I swear I didn't know the details. Mom always said it was family funds. I studied him. But you never questioned why I got nothing? Why I worked doubles while you chased dreams? He rubbed his temples. I was selfish. Okay? Assumed you preferred independence.
But yeah.
It was wrong. For the first time, vulnerability cracked his facade. Flipping houses was my escape. Dad pushed me hard. Said I had to prove myself as the son. Robert's expectations. Karen's doting, it had warped him too. We're both victims here, I said softly. But you benefited. I need accountability. He nodded. I'll help repay. Sell my truck. Whatever. A shift, not just demands, but dialogue. Karen and Robert requested a family meeting at their house. The Foothills home now shadowed by for sale signs, they'd listed it preemptively. We sat in the living room, Navajo rugs underfoot, tension thick as dust storms. Robert spoke first, voice gravelly. We screwed up.
Emily.
Clara. She was wild, got pregnant young. We took you in, but resented the burden. The trust seemed like compensation. Karen sobbed. We favored Derek because he was ours biologically. But that's no excuse. We stole from you. Plain and simple. Under Arizona law, we could pursue civil suit for breach. Seek disgorgement of profits, every gain from my funds returned with interest. Criminal theft charges loomed if intent proved. But hearing their regrets, I wavered. Why hide, Clara? I asked. Robert sighed. Feared you'd leave us for her memory. Stupid. Selfish. The confessions humanized them, flawed people, not monsters. Greed born from insecurity. Favoritism from fear. Sarah advised, you hold the cards. Settle for full restitution. Waive criminal if they cooperate. We negotiated. $1.2 million immediate from assets. Rest in installments.
No yal.
But therapy mandated for all. Derek agreed to garnishments on future earnings. It's fair, he said. Teaches me to stand on my own. Signing papers felt like exhaling after years underwater. Karen hugged me tentatively. Can we try to rebuild? Maybe, I replied. But on truth, not lies. The process clarified legalities. Trusts aren't piggy banks. Trustees face liability. Arizona courts prioritize beneficiary rights, allowing surcharge for losses. We'd avoided trial. But the lesson stuck. Accountability heals more than punishment. Media whispers started. Local blogs on family estate drama in the desert. I ignored them, focusing on restoration. With funds incoming, I enrolled in an online MBA, specializing in ethical marketing. Jack and I house hunted in Flagstaff, eyeing pine-shaded cabins for a fresh start. But first, I wrote to Clara in a journal. Mom, we found a way, not vengeance, but justice with mercy. Your love guided me. Derek texted progress. Sold his truck. Landed a steady construction job. Thanks for the push.
Sis.
Learning to build real. Karen joined a support group for estranged parents. Robert volunteered at a senior center. Small steps, but genuine. The humane path wasn't easy. Forgiveness a slow burn, but it honored Clara's spirit. Freedom through understanding, not destruction. One evening, watching monsoon clouds gather, I felt peace. The drama had exposed cracks, but mending them taught resilience. Life's not about perfect families, but owning mistakes, seeking redemption. Clara's gift wasn't just money, it was the chance to choose compassion over cruelty. Restitution trickled in like rare desert rain. First the house sale proceeds, then Derek's asset flips. By spring, my accounts swelled, but the real wealth was clarity. I'd quit my draining job, launching a freelance consultancy from home, advising on authentic branding. No more corporate grind. Now, I shaped stories that mattered, drawing from my own. Jack and I closed on a cozy ranch style in the pines near Flagstaff, with a wraparound porch overlooking Ponderosis. Unpacking, I found Clara's photo in a box, her smiling with baby me. I hung it in the living room, a quiet anchor. She's part of us now, Jack said, kissing my forehead. We hosted a small housewarming, inviting friends who'd stood by during the storm. Laughter filled the air, free of old shadows. Derek visited unannounced one weekend, truck traded for a modest sedan. Brought green chiles from Tucson, peace offering? We grilled out back, stars blanketing the sky. How's the job? I asked. Grueling, but honest. No more quick flips, just steady work. He paused. I get it now.
Eminencia.
What I took for granted. Mom and Dad. They're trying too. Karen had started journaling her regrets. Robert attended AA. Admitting stress had fueled poor choices. Therapy's opening eyes, Derek added. We were a messed up unit, but maybe fixable. I nodded.
A tentative warmt budding.
It's not overnight, but accountability helps. We talked late, sharing memories, good ones, like family camping in the Grand Canyon, where divides felt smaller under vast skies. Derek confessed envy. You were always the strong one. I hid behind handouts. Vulnerability bridged gaps. Drama's fire had forged something real. Legally, Sarah tied loose ends, a court-approved settlement under Arizona probate code, with oversight on payments,
No punitive damages.
but clauses for breach, ensuring compliance. You chose mercy, she said at our final meeting. That's strength. It clarified, U.S. law protects trusts, but human elements matter. Waiving criminal charges avoided jail, letting them rebuild productively. Summer brought a family retreat, neutral ground at a Sedona resort, red rocks echoing Clara's spirit. Karen arrived nervous. Robert subdued. We're here to listen, she said. Over hikes and talks. Truths poured, their resentment toward Clara's easy inheritance. Fear of losing Derek to failure. We projected our insecurities, Robert admitted. Robbed you to prop him. Tears flowed. I shared my pain, the outsider feeling. Stolen dreams. But I forgive, not forget. Let's build forward. Derek suggested a memorial for Clara, a bench in a local park, engraved with her words on freedom. We dedicated it together, wind carrying our whispers. Thanks, Mom, I said. The act healed, honoring her without vengeance. Back home, I dove into my MBA, acing classes on ethical leadership. A project on family dynamics in business drew from our saga, earning praise. Your perspective's gold, my prof noted. Jack and I dreamed bigger, travel to the Pacific Northwest, maybe start a family. No rush, Clara's gift bought time. One night, stargazing on the porch, he asked, regrets? Only that it took so long. But the lesson? Families chosen. Rebuilt through truth. Drama had tested us, but emerging kinder proved resilience. Greed fractures, compassion mends. Karen called weekly now, sharing recipes, asking about my work. Robert sent postcards from volunteer trips,
Derek landait à promotion.
crediting real grit. Bonds mended slowly, like arid soil after rain, fragile but growing. The humane ending wasn't fairy tale perfect, but real, acknowledging hurt, choosing growth. Clara's legacy lived, not in dollars, but in the freedom to forgive, to evolve. As fall painted the pines gold, life settled into a rhythm I'd never known, secure, purposeful. My consultancy thrived, clients drawn to my authentic edge. The MBA wrapped up, capstone on restorative justice in family estates, inspired by our case. Sarah even cited it in a seminar. Emily's story shows law's human side, restitution with redemption. Thanksgiving returned, but transformed. We hosted in Flagstaff, Turkey with Southwest flair. Karen and Robert arrived bearing pies, Derek with his new girlfriend, a teacher grounding his ambitions.
No attic secrets.
Just open talk. To new beginnings, I toasted. Laughter echoed. Genuine this time. Later, Karen pulled me aside. I'm proud of you.
Eminencia.
Not just for fighting, but for mercy. Her eyes shone. Clara would be too. The light lesson crystallized. Greed blinds, but truth liberates. Families falter, but with accountability, they flourish. Clara's trust wasn't mere money, it was a mirror, forcing us to face flaws. By choosing humanity over harsh revenge, we'd all grown. Derek independent, parents reflective, me empowered. One crisp morning, I hiked to Clara's bench, journal in hand. Mom, we made it. Your love outlasted the lies. Thanks for the freedom to choose kindness. Wind rustled leaves. A soft affirmation. Back home, Jack waited with coffee. Ready for our adventure? We'd planned a road trip west, chasing sunsets along Route 66, symbols of journeys reclaimed. Years on, bonds strengthened. Derek started a legit flipping business, partnering ethically. Karen volunteered at women's shelters, sharing her story. Robert mentored young dads.
Me?
I wrote a book on family trusts and healing. Proceeds funding scholarships for single moms' kids, like Clara. It hit shelves, sparking talks. Justice isn't zero-sum, I'd say. It's restorative. The drama's scars faded, leaving wisdom. In the western sun's glow, I found peace, not in perfection, but in progress. Clara's gift endured, a life of choices, laced with compassion. Free at last, deeply loved, forever forward.